6, you're live on Talk Sport. Who am I talking to?
Speaking to Roger.
Hello there.
I keep hearing you say don't worry about things that concern us. But isn't that rather similar to the case in Pompeii, where they kept sort of not worrying about the volcano and then it just sort of blew up and covered them in ash?
Yes.
There's more and more pressure groups.
That's what I hope happens to you. That's why I'm specifically suggesting you don't worry, because I know that there is a volcano just round the corner from you. Where do you live, by the way?
I live in Bristol.
How many volcanoes have you got in that neck of the woods?
I've got enough to cause a lot of pressure groups to worry about the things that you say not to worry about.
Are you worried about volcanoes, then?
I worry about GM foods, radiation, everything.
I know, that's because you like worrying, but don't make other people worry.
If other people don't get involved, which they already are...
Tremendous.
Well, they're involved.
You people with your pressure groups, you haven't done anything, you haven't changed anything.
Of course we have.
Rubbish, that's rubbish.
Scientists...
It's pathetic of you to think that without you, everybody else will be evil. That's your arrogance.
The papers feed off of the scientists which have a social conscience. They give the information out and it goes to pressure groups. The reason why you say don't worry is because you've probably got concerns. In other words, you've got concerns that involve money, fundings, advertising, and that's why you say ignore worry, and it's a kind of a lapse ignorance.
Why are you bitter?
I'm bitter. No, I'm not bitter.
Why are you a bitter person? What's happened to you?
I'm a socially concerned person.
Yes, but why are you bitter towards other people?
I'm bitter towards conglomerates, multinational fascism.
We know that, but why?
Because it concerns me, because it alters...
No, but that doesn't answer the question why you're bitter about it,
I am
rather than objective.
The question is that it alters the society around me, therefore it makes me involved and bitter.
I've spoken to you before, and what I remember most of all about you is that you're not very good at having a proper conversation. Now, I am. Now, I'm going to cut you off if you don't have a conversation with me. If you just carry on with this monotone...
I give you answers and you say I'm not
No,
conversing.
there you are, you see. No, you're not. You're not doing it now. You didn't respond to what I just said.
What did you just say?
Exactly, you weren't listening. And
you
the problem,
said, am I bitter?
What I said was you don't have a conversation. You lack conversational skills.
No, you say that.
I do, because it's true.
No, it's just your interpretation of a person having a conversation.
But everything that you do, everything that you've done since you've been on air in the last 3 minutes has been an issue.
Well, of course it is.
No, you don't understand. You've issued. You haven't spoken. You haven't conversed. You haven't sought engagement. You don't seek engagement. You're an isolated individual. Is that why you're bitter? Are you isolated?
No. I've introduced an issue.
Are you an isolated person?
No. Why should I be an isolated person? Because I've got a social conscience.
Because you've got a conversational defect.
No, I'm afraid you have.
No, on the contrary. On the contrary. It's my great prowess.
Well, I'm afraid what you're doing is just insinuating that I can't converse, therefore making yourself above me.
It's not an insinuation. I'm not alleging it. I'm not hinting at it.
Well, you just claimed it.
I'm stating it in as clearly as I possibly can.
You just made the claim.
You're not very good at conversing.
Well,
You're confrontational.
Well, of course I am.
And you don't engage.
But I just said this confrontational issue.
The art of confrontation, like sex, is having lots of different approaches.
Well,
and you've only got one.
No, my approach is simple facts and issues. Nothing is conversation.
But you don't have any different dimensions to your way of expressing these concerns.
Because it's a single dimension. If you have a concern...
That's not true.
Well, if you have pain, you express pain. If you have a concern...
There's lots of different types of pain. Have you ever been to the doctor and the doctor said, what type of pain is it?
Yes, but...
And what did you say? There is no such thing as different types of pain? Or did you just say, well, it's a kind of an ache? Or a sharp pain? I
answer the first question first, and I say I have pain.
Yes, but you just said that there's only one type of pain.
No, the pain is pain.
You picked a bad metaphor to illustrate your form of expression.
No, you're reinterpreting what I just said. I simply said you said...
Every listening experience involves interpretation. Your problem is you just don't listen, so you don't have to interpret. If you listened, you'd be able to converse better.
But your claim is that I'm not supposed to say... I don't go to a doctor's and say, I have a particular type. If I say I have pain, then the doctor would say, what sort of pain have you
I've got earache
where?
at the moment. What sort of a pain is that?
What do you mean, what sort of a pain is that?
Earache.
Well, you've just said that you've got an earache.
Yes. Are you interested in knowing what sort of earache I've got?
If I was a doctor, I might be, yes.
As the person who's talking to me, are you interested in knowing what sort of earache I've got?
Not really.
No, and that's the reason, you see. That's why nobody will listen to you. Kierkegaard said, you know, the only way to change a man's opinion is not to stand opposite him and remonstrate, but to come and stand alongside him. Put your arm around his shoulder as a fellow traveller and see the world as he sees it. And that's why you, dear caller, will never change anybody's mind. But I don't think that's really what you want to do. Like most of us, you're more interested that other people perceive you as some sort of an urban warrior, a hero for the 21st century, because you're going to make us all worry about things we can't do anything about.